Parallelly, people like you are writing your own stories in a parallel world. No one will come to know about those stories.
My father set a very grand example in public service. We were always challenged to do work and do things that matter and that can make a difference.
You never thought about becoming an IAS officer or an IPS officer in your life?
No, I did not.
When did Ekya came into your mind?
I wanted something of my own stamp, my own signature. That's how Ekya was born. The common thread across all learning systems and designing learning is keeping the learner at the heart of it. If somebody like me doesn't do something for the nation, for others, then who else should do it?
ಇದು ಬುಕ್ ಬ್ರಹ್ಮ ಅರ್ಪಿಸುವ ಚಾಟ್ ವಿತ್ ಚಪ್ಪರಿಕೆ ದ ಚೇಂಜ್ ಮೇಕರ್ಸ್.
ನನ್ನ ಜೊತೆ ಇವತ್ತು ಐ ಹ್ಯಾವ್ ಡಾಕ್ಟರ್ ತ್ರಿಸ್ತಾ ಹಿಯರ್ ಆ್ಯಂಡ್ ಅವರು ಏನು ಮಾಡಿದ್ದಾರೆ, ಅವರ ಸಾಧನೆಗಳು ಏನು ಅನ್ನೋದನ್ನು ಅವ್ರ ಬಾಯಿಂದಲೇ ಕೇಳ್ಬೋದು ನಾವು. ತ್ರಿಸ್ತಾ, ವೆಲ್ಕಮ್ ಟು ದಿಸ್ ಶೋ ಆ್ಯಂಡ್ ಸಡನ್ಲಿ ವಿ ಕ್ಯಾನ್ ಸ್ಪೀಕ್ ಇನ್ ಇಂಗ್ಲೀಷ್, ನೋ ಇಶ್ಯೂಸ್ ಅಟ್ ಆಲ್.
Okay, great.
Yeah.
Thank you for having me. And what is the reason for putting this show together?
Yeah, the thing is, we thought that a lot of good things are happening.
Okay.
And we always feel that the stories has to be written by a writer or a novelist or a poet or someone. But in this, parallelly, people like you are writing your own stories in a parallel world. No one will come to know about those stories.
Okay.
The idea of this entire series is put forth that unknown stories to the common viewers and the outer world. And we thought it is better to do it both in Kannada and English, but
Sure.
whichever is comfortable for our guests.
Sure.
So let's continue with that. I think it is almost in your case, it started when you were born, this journey.
Yes, absolutely.
Somewhere in 1990s, 80s or like that.
Yes, correct.
Because you have, from the birth itself, you had two paths in front of you.
Yes.
One is a bureaucratic path, another is education.
Yes.
And
absolutely.
yeah. Is it because of mother? You took this education as your life and it's as your path. You can start with your childhood.
So I think I was very privileged to have these two opportunities in front of me. My father set a very grand example in public service and being very action oriented, being sort of a problem solver on the ground. And I grew up watching him do a lot of his work. And my mother was an entrepreneur and education leader, and she started off by trying to provide to society an opportunity that they did not have. So both of them set very high benchmarks for me growing up, and we were always challenged to do work and do things that matter and that can make a difference. And so I was given these two paths, and hopefully I'm able to merge both of it in the future. But for my mother, I got into education because I saw her build it. I spent all my summers watching her build the school, and I used to, as a child, play teacher, and that's a reality for me today.
You never thought about becoming an IAS officer or an IPS officer in your life?
No, I did not.
Genetically, you have been
Yes,
towards the education path.
towards education. Either I would have been an artist or I loved biology, so I thought maybe I would do something in biology for a brief period of time. But I would say from a very young age, I knew I wanted to be in education. I wanted to be in classrooms and working with teachers and building something out.
But the time you are growing up, after your +2 or something, is an era of engineers and doctors. Even you never thought about it?
No,
No one forced you?
No one forced it. Actually, my parents are very liberal in that manner. They never said this is what you must do. This is your commitment, or they allowed us to think out of the box. And so, for my undergraduate, I decided to entrepreneurship and public policy. That was what I did my undergraduate
In SMU.
in Singapore, and then when I came back, that's when I decided to get into K-12.
Yeah, that journey itself, no, you were very. I was wondering how can we have this clear vision in our life. From plus 12, no, plus 2, we always, it's a confused state we will have. But you are very clear about your path. You went to Singapore, then you moved to, I think,
The US.
US.
Yes.
Then you came back to Europe, and again you went to US, I think.
Yes.
And in all along that journey, from SMU to King's to Stanford to all the journeys towards the education only.
Yes,
How it
yes.
happened? Is it a very conscious decision, or you had your own vision at a young age?
I wanted to do something of impact from a very, very young age, and education provided that platform, and my parents set an example on how it can be done. Very early experiences of watching my father contribute to society as a bureaucrat, and I've had experiences at, for example, at BR Hill with Dr. Sudarshan. I was very young at that time, and there was a summer camp that he had organized for all the tribal children. And there I saw how children that don't have access to great education still want to contribute to their country. And I thought, I have everything for me. I have the access, I have the education, I have the background. And if somebody like me doesn't do something for the nation, for others, then who else should do it? So it's a burden of privilege, or the ability to want to contribute. So that has been there from a very young age.
So you spoke about your camp in BR Hills, actually.
Yes.
And not only at home, you had an environment outside your home in the community
Yes.
with a lot of people you know and I know, and
Yes.
It made a huge impact on
Yes,
you. How you used to take it as a young student, because it shaped you in an entirely different person. It is not you are not like any one of us.
Yes.
How it happened? Because you told only one name. There are other names too.
Yes.
Hundreds of names surrounding you.
Yes.
What was the impact of those beautiful people, or people who made a huge impact on the society, from the bureaucracy to the environment to the education sector, in different sectors?
I think I would credit that all to my parents, and the kind of relationships they've built with different people across different segments of society, different walks of life, and different fields, and always to interact with them. It's been lessons in leadership to understand what does humility mean, what does impact mean, and like you mentioned. Whether it's Bangalore, in Karnataka, such great human beings are there who have dedicated their life to something bigger than themselves, and that was a major factor of influencing me on what should I do with my life, and that happened from a very young age. And when you see your parents doing that on an everyday basis, that makes a huge difference. I think that I would credit it to them.
And when did Ekya came into your mind? Because you had a legacy. It's a huge It's a huge challenge for you also, because already you had a big institute founded and established by parents.
Yes.
And it was an easy path you would have taken.
Yes.
And you said, no, I want to take my own path, and I want to start something of my own.
Yes.
Then when that seed was sowed in your mind, and how Ekya come into picture?
So after I finished my undergraduate, I went for my master's to Stanford. And there I realized that the US narrative is US focused. There's not much research at that time. There wasn't any focus on India or South Asia or what innovation we can do in this country. So when I came back, I thought I could use a lot of those learnings and put it into India, but India is a very different construct to work within. So, but I wanted to use those ideas. I wanted to take it many notches above what already existed. So when I came back, the mandate I was given is solve something in the K-12 segment by the family. Look at the kindergarten to grade 12. That is where we started,
K-12,
because
yeah.
my mother started a school, and then we grew into higher education institutions. So they said, why don't you now go back to the first school that we started and see what can be done there? How can we innovate? How can we go away from rote learning? So those were the sort of the broad canvas that I was given to solve. And while I was doing that, I wanted something of my own stamp, my own signature. So that's how Ekya was born. Again, it was, my parents used to wonder, do you not want to use the CMR name, use the existing legacy names? And so Ekya was an unknown, brand new concept. But that was launched when I was 23. And we thought we will build a school. And so I was at 23, trying to convince parents to put their children under my care, and reimagining learning from scratch. That's what I tried to do. And that's how Ekya was
And
born.
you are very particular about making the younger generation or the next generation thoughtful people rather than um, the education system which we have is giving to them.
Yes.
They just buy heart things and they will
Yes.
reproduce in the exams and get the certificate. So, what was the idea behind that? Because of you have seen the world and you are deeply into it, and you wanted to make a huge impact and change the whole ecosystem.
So growing up, I also experienced many different kinds of education systems. So I started off in CBSE, I did my IB program, then I went to Singapore, then the US, UK. So you get to see how countries are thinking about learning. How is the culture informing learning practices? And so I wanted to do something for India in a city like Bangalore. And the common thread across all learning systems and designing learning is keeping the learner at the heart of it, the student. And what kind of student are we going to create? Because a student that's in the classroom as a 6-year-old today is going to enter the marketplace only about 15 years from now.
Yeah.
And by the time they become active citizens and contributing and building families, that's another 20 years away, 25 years away. So what kind of human beings are we creating? So it's a very long-term thought process. And the core comes down to who are they going to be? How are they going to think?
It's mostly into value-based rather
Yes.
than certificate-based education.
Yes. They have to also be globally competent. They have to have the skills and the content knowledge to thrive in a world in the future. So how do you curate that experience? How do you build that? So that was the challenge.
And you are very particular about from the school design to the resources you hired, and
Yes.
Especially when you started JP Nagar campus.
Yes.
I want to hear the story from you, because that's the beginning of your dream.
Yes.
It came true in, I think, 15 years back.
Yes.
Exactly.
Yes.
And first venture, first school.
Yes.
And how did it happen, and what was your thoughts at that moment? Because afterwards, almost we replicated
Yes.
in Bhairti 1 and
Yes.
I think
ITPL,
ITPL 1 and
BTM.
Last one is in the Nice Road now.
Yes. Yes. Yes.
And how did it happen? Because the first one is beginning, is the first step is the important step.
Yes.
And how it happened, and are you very happy about that first step?
So definitely
I
Ekya
want a very bigger answer now.
Okay.
Not a short answer.
So I think Ekya JP Nagar has definitely I have a soft spot for that campus because it was the first campus first venture, to start something new,
Yeah.
start something from scratch. Um,
It's like your first baby.
Yes, and a lot of learning from it, a lot of being tested, to think, to be pushed to make decisions. So that was a skill that I had to learn very young. It started off by even coming up with the name. What should the campus look like? How many classrooms do we need? How do we build this out? What kind of furniture should we get? So I
How
think
much light and how much wind should come in.
yes. And I learned a lot from architects who built our campuses. That what's important, how do you build it, what are the spaces, how do you design it. So I learned from different people in each of those fields to understand, to put this puzzle together that was
Yeah.
Ekya JP Nagar, the first campus. When it came to the name, wanted something from Sanskrit and something Indian, but also that is easy for children to say.
You cannot call Aikyam.
Yes, very
much.
difficult for children to say.
Yeah, yeah.
So, and if you remember the song on Doordarshan, Ek Anek, it was a song with Ek Chidiya. So, sort of inspired from that. And when I spoke to a lot of the teachers and students in our existing school, they said the school is a second home, it's our family. So, this idea of community, being collective, everybody working together, and yet as an individual you're unique. So that's why, inspired from Aikyam, from Sanskrit, we made the word Ekya.
Ekya.
Ekya. So it's simple for children to say. So that's how the brand started. To design learning, spent a lot of time doing a lot of research on what are the new systems, how do you build it out. And I came up with a framework of 6 pillars, and that is true today. Even that's how I view schools, through those 6 pillars. The 6 pillars are culture, that's how you treat each other; curriculum, what you teach; instruction, how you teach it; assessment, how you check what you're teaching is what they're learning; professional practice is about how the teachers are trained and who are the people teaching this; and last is environment. So these 6 pillars, culture, curriculum, instruction, assessment, professional practice, environment, all have to work together. Only then a school will function properly. If the culture is bad but you have good curriculum, it doesn't mean anything. If the environment doesn't support the way the classrooms are structured, the way light comes into a classroom, the kind of facilities that are there, if that's not there, curriculum cannot be implemented properly, or instruction is very difficult to implement. So all 6 have to work in tandem. So this was the key framework I began with. Then I went deep into each of those 6 pillars. What do we need for curriculum? How do we build curriculum? What should we be teaching our children? So we went into exploring what other countries in the world are doing to teach in particular areas. How are they teaching English? How are they teaching math? How are they teaching science? So how should we teach that? So that took a lot of research, and then started putting a curriculum team in place to start building that. So curriculum, instruction, assessment was built by the central team, and a lot of learnings from that.
Yeah, it happens, and one more important thing is this particular K-12 sector is completely flooded from the Tier 2 to Tier 3 cities now,
Yes.
including metros now. And what is the difference between the other schools in the same sector and IKEA?
I think for us, we are very focused on learning outcomes, very focused on how children feel as a community, how they're treated, and the well-being of children. Our curriculum is cutting edge, the way we've built it, and we've built it now for over 15 years. So from starting it from day one to what's built right now, the key focus has been global practices and how it can be built for our children. So our curriculum is absolutely unparalleled, I would say. I'm proud to say that because it's taken that long to build. Our technology is also far, far superior than anybody in this context, because we use global products. So technology has been a very key component from day one. And definitely our intent. We continue to innovate on a daily basis on what can we do better, because children are changing, families are changing, society is changing, education must also keep pace with that. So our intent to innovate, our intent to work hard to solve difficult problems, that is very core and different, I would say, hopefully different from other.
And what happens usually is scaling is the only option in any sector now.
Yes.
Without you scale in the numbers, through the innovations and
Yes.
other things, it's very difficult to sustain. Because one hand, we are making impact on the society. It's the education sector. On the other hand, it's back end. You have to manage the business also.
Yes. It has to be sustainable.
So it has to be sustainable.
Yes.
Keeping that in the sense,
Yes.
what are your expansion plans, and are you moving away from Bangalore and expanding and keep taking this brand across India?
This question has been coming for a very long time, since the very beginning. Even when imagining Ekya, I'd always think, is it 50 schools, 5 schools, 10 schools, 100 schools, 200 schools? India has capacity to take all of that. The way I view scale and growth is, I want to do centers of excellence, high benchmark, fewer, and I want to do that my day, I enjoy my day, that I'm not running behind business and scale and fundraising. I don't want to do all of that, because that takes me away from the classroom and teachers and learning. So what we are thinking, our focus is a new category of schools that we have launched, what we call purpose-based schools. These are thematic schools in nature. We are going to have few, but they will be pioneering in the country. So the first school we have launched is Ekya Nava, which is focused on innovation. The second school we're launching is Ekya Vana, which is focused on sustainability and conservation.
Yeah, I want to talk to both about both of them.
Yeah.
And especially Ekya Vana is very close to my heart
Yes.
also. So tell me, what is that actually? Explain it in a
These
broader
are-
way.
Yes.
Because I saw a few, whatever the 3D pictures or whatever the designs you
Yeah.
have presented. It's wonderful
Correct.
in those pictures, but
Correct.
it's very difficult to bring it into reality. And
Correct.
what are your plans? And I think it's coming up in outskirts of Bangalore near
Correct.
Bannerghatta.
Bannerghatta, yes. So, looking at pioneering schools, few schools that will set the benchmark for everybody else to follow. That is the goal. It's not about 50, 100 all across the country. It is,
You are not into numbers.
no, I'm into quality, legacy, impact. Those are things that are more important. And I want to be able to set an example for other people to say, yes, we can create schools like this. And there are so many people who have a philosophy that they'd like to build a school around that. That confidence they should get that, yes, a well-known education group with education background has been able to do this. We can also. And that is the only way more children will get access to better education.
I have a question about that. We'll talk later.
But Ekya
Vana,
Nava and Ekya Vana, they are thematic schools. And it is to focus on a particular theme and celebrate that theme in every touch point the child will go through, so that they build that kind of a muscle. For example, at Ekya Vana, our focus is children should love nature and care enough to protect it. That is a muscle that they will build through their school. And when they graduate, they can be doctors, lawyers, and they can pick any field. But always they will care about the world. Always they'll care about what am I doing now that's going to impact Mother Earth. That is the muscle that we are building. And so, whether it's the way the uniforms are designed, the way the campus is designed, the way the learning is designed, the kind of advisors and mentors we have on board, every single thing is centered around that theme. So at Ekya Vana, the way the campus is built, it's in Bannerghatta, right next to the national park. It has It'll have animals, it'll have greenhouse and herb gardens. It has a biogas plant. Children will be doing conservation studies. They'll be studying about energy and innovation, EV technology. These are kind of the themes that children will be doing. The kind of field trips and outbounds they would do will be connected to sustainability and conservation. And since Bangalore is the conservation capital of the country, children should be taught that from a very young age.
And when are you launching it?
We are,
When are you planning to?
the campus is under construction. We are going to be opening for admissions very soon.
Okay.
And we've already begun our preschool and daycare
In the same campus?
in different campuses around the city.
Okay.
We've opened 2 already and more in the pipeline. So these are nature-based preschools called Ekya Early Years. So we've already launched that. This June, we're having our first batch of students come in. So from a very young age, love for nature, love for animals, care for the earth are themes that we're going to be embedding.
So you're talking about making an impact on the society through, what do you say, structuring that K-12 in entirely different way.
Yes.
As one of the finest educationists, you yourself, do you agree that a person's future will be decided within K-12?
I think the K-12 and very early learning sets the foundation for the
For
way
a
they
life,
think.
life.
Yes, definitely.
You believe in it?
Yes, definitely. It is a transformational age. This is when, firstly, from a biology perspective, a neuroscience perspective, your brain is still developing at that point. You're more impressionable. You are not independent enough to make your own decisions. You come under adult care. So, for all of these reasons, it's very, very important to look at the K-12 segment because it's where children
Foundation,
can, yes,
it's a foundation.
Children will be built there, and that sets their values, their outlook, the way they might address challenges. So many mindsets can be built in this age category.
Yeah, we all know and we agree for it, no? See, K-12 will be the base for
Yes.
life actually.
Yes.
And we're talking about education now. There's a fissure in Indian setup actually. And very few get a education like this.
Yes.
And according to Pew report, it says 66 million are still 1.2 billion low in a lower income group, and
Yes.
66 billion is even not touch the middle of the
Yes.
society.
Yes.
And very few will get this access to good education.
Yes.
What is your suggestion for that, and what do you think, how can we close that fissure in the education system? We call it as the Great Indian Education Fissure,
Yes.
because that is going to impact in future on the society and the country and everything.
Yes.
What do you suggest? How to fill that gap? And 100% we cannot fill it.
Yes. Yes.
Practically the whole society will be divided like that only.
Yes.
But at least a person like you or people who are in the education sector, if they give suggestions and try, and I think we can slowly that gap can be filled little bit at least. What is your thoughts on it?
It's a very, very difficult, big problem to solve. If I were to suggest maybe three areas to focus on, first would be teacher education. It is to focus on who's in the classroom and how is that learning happening. And it's not just about content knowledge, it's also the values and making a safe environment for students to thrive. So teacher education, teacher support, teacher growth is very critical. And globally, we are going to have by 2030, we're going to have a 60 million teacher shortage. So people are not really entering the profession. If they enter it, they're burning out. So solving this teacher problem and supporting teachers is one way.
Same is the problem with the health also.
Yes.
They are not getting nurses.
Yes.
here we are not getting teachers, there
Correct.
we are not getting nurses. Because when I was speaking with Dr. Devi Shetty,
Yes.
he says the entire health system is run by not doctors, nurses.
Correct.
Like entire education system is not
Correct.
run by anyone, the teachers.
Correct.
You are saying there is a huge shortage for
Correct.
teachers, quality
Yes.
teachers.
Yes, yes. And also, this technical skill a teacher needs to have to be in the classroom, that's completely undervalued. So, improving our B.Ed programs, our certification programs, more opportunities for teachers to learn what innovation means. And when schools like ours have the ability to innovate, and there's so much learning from that, that is what we should be able to share for more teachers to be equipped to be in the classroom. To train somebody to be an exceptional classroom teacher takes a lot of
Easy job.
effort. Yes, it's a huge effort. It Many people believe, and it's wrongly believe, that you're naturally a teacher. You just no. There is as technical a skill as being a doctor or a nurse or an engineer. That's what it takes for a teacher to be in a classroom. They have to know cognitive science, to content, to know their child's personality, and have the intention and the willingness to serve.
Yeah.
So teacher, I think that is the first category that is worth addressing. Very, very important category. The second would be technology. And now with the AI boom that is coming about, the children that are there right now and the children of the next generation are going to be AI natives, which means we have to reimagine our entire learning system to cater to those children. And this is not, AI is not going to be only for a privileged few. AI is going to start percolating into every aspect of society. So how are we equipping our students to handle a world with AI? So that's a major shift. Third would be private-public partnerships. Because there's innovation, ability to innovate in the private space, but that learning doesn't translate to a larger audience. So I think a structured way of doing that would be
that partnership in between private and public sector, and government schools can adopt this whatever the models created by the private sector and make an impact in that category.
Yes, and for the public sector to share more openly on what they're innovating, what failures happened in school, what doesn't work, because we have to build an India and a Karnataka and a Bangalore solution. It's because very contextualized. JP Nagar is different from ITPL. It's children are different, society is different, micro communities are different. What is important to teach there, how to teach it, it takes a lot of effort. And that kind of innovation has to happen. We cannot just import things from the West or just at random invent things on the ground.
You have a philanthropic arm also.
Yes.
You have founded Saranaam India.
Yes.
Because I know a little bit about Karnashraya. I'm the first journalist who wrote about them.
Okay.
And what are you doing in Saranaam India? What was the vision of Saranaam India?
Saranaam was started to address the palliative and end-of-life care. And this is a major segment. India is aging, and health issues, especially incurable and challenging diseases, take a major toll financially on families and also emotionally, because there is a caregiver that has to manage, and if somebody has to visit the hospital often or have home care facilities being taken care of, it is a very high burden on the family to take care of this. So Saranaam has been founded to work with public hospitals and public centers to provide palliative and end-of-life care. And we work with not just the elderly, we also work with children of all ages and anybody that needs palliative care.
So where is it? You have any center?
Right now we have partnership with 2 government hospitals. One is with Kidwai.
Okay.
We run Kidwai's home care facility. We're also with KC General Hospital. We're partnered with them for their home care, and we will be building out the hospice and other units for them. It's a completely philanthropic venture, and where a lot of kind human beings have contributed their time and energy towards this. And it's a very new venture. We just began our operations in February.
I think you know about Karnashraya, no?
Yes.
You know about
Yes,
them.
yes. I think the scale that palliative care needs to be in India and where we are at the moment, there's a massive gap. Not just in terms of number of people working in the space, but also the kind of protocols we can use, the system that we have to set up, access for different people. We are a long way away. So we need many, many Karnashrayas and Saranams in India to cater to the pain and the challenges people are facing in this space.
So your focus is majorly on education. Now you are slowly moving into health also.
Only this one venture, because I feel very passionately about end of life, and a very talented and proactive friend of mine has worked extensively in the non-profit space, and he wanted to enter the palliative
Okay.
care space. So because I was also very keen and passionate about this area, so I support him and co-founded this organization.
So what is there anything unknown we know about Tristha?
I think I also spend a fair bit of time in the startup ecosystem. I do a lot of advising founders in the education space, definitely.
Okay.
If they're building out edtech products or building for children or families, because schools are sort of a nodal point where all
yeah.
of these things converge. And we work with children from 18 months to postdoc level. So across that experience, I work with advising a lot of startup founders. We do a little bit of investment if there are any ventures that are really interesting. I also back them and support them. For example, a former student of mine from CMRIT has started, is going to be India's largest parenting platform. So that is something I'm supporting. We also do education loans. Another startup does education loans. Another one that does LMS and ERP solutions for schools.
Schools, yeah.
So like that, different founders, to support them and to tell them what's happening on this side of it when they're solving something, to give them the kind of feedback and insights.
So thank you so much for coming back to India, first of all.
Thank
And at 2023 starting your own journey.
Yeah.
And making it big and making a huge impact on the society.
Thank you.
Please let it go on, go on, go on, as long as it's possible. And I think education and health are two sectors has to be taken care by youngsters like you.
Yes.
Not oldies like us. We are done. And it's happening. I'm very happy. That's the reason we are coming up with this series.
Okay.
So thank you so much for being with Book Brahma.
Yeah.
And in a live only, I'm asking you to join Book Brahma Literature Festival in a panel about this only.
Sure.
And we welcome you on board.
Thank you for having me.
Thank you. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
See you then.
Yeah, thank you.